Hey everyone, Jeremy from the Snowboard Asylum, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the 2223 Sims Vanilla. Taking its inspiration from the best-selling Distortion, the Vanilla is the perfect choice for riders who want one board that can do absolutely anything you ask of it, no matter if you're lapping the park, cruising around the resort, or even hunting out powder stashes after a heavy snowfall. Built around a state-of-the-art blunt-tipped diamond twin shape, the Vanilla delivers the perfect balance of freestyle feel and all-terrain versatility. The low swing weight tips deliver a well-balanced feel, so when you're lapping the park, you'll have all the feel and control that you could ever need. But you're not going to compromise the board's performance in deeper snow and through crud, making the Vanilla a truly versatile ride. Now when it comes to the profile and the sidecut, yet again the Vanilla focuses on versatility by combining a tighter sidecut radius than you normally see on this kind of board with a transformed camber which blends traditional camber zones with a flat central section. The Vanilla feels really lively underfoot and it's a bit of a revelation when carving around on the piste. Now in terms of construction, Sims don't hold back, and it's another reason why the Distortion steps up against its rivals. Heading this up is the lively Mod 3 wood core. Combining poplar and bamboo, it gives a poppy flex through the length. This is then matched up with torsion responsive Tri-Tex Triax glass fibre structural layers reinforced with double carbon stringers running tip to tail. These up the overall performance of the board, creating a really dynamic and responsive snowboard that has the ability to push your riding to a whole new level. Sims then finished the Vanilla with their high-end ISO Sport Premium sintered racing base. So, if you're after a go anywhere, ride anything snowboard that's going to give you a bit more of a responsive ride than you would normally see in this category, then the Vanilla needs to be on your shopping list. So, let's take a look at this board in a little bit more detail and see what makes it tick. Well, I guess the first place we need to start is the shape. The Vanilla is a true twin tip, so basically everything is centered. It's got a really balanced ride, so when you kind of ride in it, it'll ride exactly the same forwards or backwards. Now that's going to give really good kind of freestyle balance, so when you kind of take the board in the park on rails and boxes or off jumps, you're going to have loads and loads of control, and that control is enhanced by the blunt tips and tail. So basically what Sims have done is removed any excess material from the tips. That just reduces the weight at the ends of the board, and that just kind of reduces the inertia effect of the board when it's spinning. It also works really good when you're carving as well, because when the board is on its edge, if you've got a lot of weight at the nose, that weight is always trying to push the board out of the carve. So dropping that swing weight works really well for a lot of reasons. Now although it's a twin, what Sims have done with this is actually given the nose a little bit of length, and that's kind of the advantage of a diamond tip. Just kind of makes the board feel like it's a little bit longer. And what that's going to do is just kind of make it ride up in powder, give you a little bit more flow, allow the nose to kind of bust through crud a little bit more. So you're really kind of like creating that perfect balance of freestyle board and all-terrain board. So it's a freestyle all-terrain board, I guess is the simplest way to put it. Now in terms of width, the Vanilla comes in as a regular width. So the 139 is 22.9 centimeters wide. The 44 is 23.3 centimeters wide, and the 49 23.7 centimeters wide. So that just kind of makes the board feel really reactive underfoot. It allows the board to transition edge to edge quite quickly. Obviously the narrower the board, the faster it's going to do that, but obviously if you go too narrow, you're going to end up with lots of toe and heel drag. So it's the perfect width right really for the board. Now one of the key reasons to why this board rides so well is, like the Distortion, it utilises a pretty tight side cut. So the 39 is 6.7 metres, the 44 is 6.9 metres, and the 49 7.1 metres. Now what that tight side cut does, it works with that kind of regular width, just to make the board feel really nimble underfoot. As soon as you put the board on its edge, it's going to start to turn, and it feels really turny. And to be honest with you, it's just so much fun when you get this board on the piste and carve around. It's really good at tight turns, but it's not so tight that it can't do a long radius turn. So it's just one of the most fun all-terrain boards there is to carve out there. Now in terms of profile, it utilises a transformed camber. Now what transformed camber is you've got traditional camber at the contact points, then that runs into a flat section through the centre and then back to a traditional camber. And what that does, when the board is on its edge, It lets you compress that side cut into the turn, powers up the whole side cut through the length of the board, gives a really dynamic edge hold. But because you've got this flat section through the middle, you don't have to be overly aggressive to get that camber engaged. You're only really just kind of concentrating down on these sections here. So you've got amazing edge hold, but it's amazing edge hold with little to no effort, really. Okay, now in terms of construction, the vanilla utilises the Mod 3 core. That's a combination of poplar and bamboo. And it's basically bamboo stringers that run down the side of the insert pack there. And what those bamboo stringers do is just give the board a little bit more pop and a little bit more power through the length. And again, one of the reasons why it feels so responsive and lively under the foot. In terms of structural layers, it utilises the 45-degree Tri-Tex Triax glass. So that's running the glass fibre strands at 45 degrees and then along the length of the board. That stiffens up the board torsionally, makes it a bit more responsive, a bit more dynamic as well. Also means that you're never really going to override this board. That Triax glass is really good at holding energy, so you're never going to feel like the board wants to wash out of turn even at higher speeds. Now to that they then add carbon stringers, and the carbon stringers run either side of the insert pack, and they just add more snap and pop through the length. Just again making the board feel a little bit more dynamic. Base material utilises high molecular weight sintered premium racing base. That's the high-end base material for Sims. It's very tough. It's got great wax holding properties as well. So keep this board maintained and it's gonna fly. So there you have the vanilla. A little bit more responsive and a little bit more dynamic than most boards in this category. So if you're one of those riders that does like to charge around a little bit, but you know, you still want a board that is relatively easy to ride, this could be just your perfect choice.